It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
If a man did that, he would be called classless, and nobody would be saying anything.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. Other people do it. Y'all don't say nothing.
It's not often that we get a cultural event and public backlash that so clearly illustrates the way racism, sexism, and misogynoir function in tangent to infantilize white women and vilify black women to the disservice of both groups. But we see exactly that when we take a look at both the public's perception and treatment of Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and their respective teams. Just like they did when Angela Bassett committed the heinous crime of fighting back tears instead of clapping when Jamie Lee Curtis won the Oscar she spent decades being passed up for, because black people are always expected to perform, to humble ourselves, to prioritize the feelings of white people. White America showed their ass when, hold on, let me check my notes, because I, just like 99% of the white men talking shit, do not watch women's basketball. Mind you, I don't watch any sports of any gender. Anyway, white America collectively lost their ever-loving mind when the LSU Tigers beat the Iowa Hawkeyes in the NCAA Women's Tournament Championship game, and Angel Reese did the exact same gesture that Caitlin Clark had done to her in an earlier game. And not only did they have nothing to say negative about Caitlin Clark when she did it, they celebrated it. They thought it was badass. Just like they thought it was badass when John Cena did it for decades after pummeling people. Just like they had no problem jumping out the window and calling Angela Bassett every kind of synonym for uppity Negro, they are finding the same way to talk about Angel Reese, even worse. And my first reaction to that was them. I tweeted, "Please don't waste your time arguing with racists. They're always gonna move the goalposts and figure out some distinguishing factor to justify why they're cool with a white person doing something they say is unacceptable when a black person does. Let's just celebrate and uplift Angel Reese." I tweeted that because it's the truth. Please understand that racists will always find a justification for their racism and misogynoir. They'll always twist themselves into pretzels, trying to articulate some explanation for why they have a legitimate, non-racist problem for a black person who they are hyper-focusing on and hyper-critiquing. It does not matter what you do as a black person, let alone a black woman not playing to the respectability politics or shying away from the things they stereotype and demean. A racist will always have a problem with you, what you're doing, or how you're doing it, period. Which is luckily something Angel Reese herself understood.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for it was bigger than me tonight.
So I was not about to stress myself out explaining why the sky is blue or grass is green or 2 + 2 = 4. I was just gonna let these racists cry about it and laugh at them. But then Dave Portnoy of all people decided to chime in, because if white men don't have nothing else, they have the audacity. And I just could not allow that to stand. If you do not know who Dave Portnoy is yet, you've clearly avoided the depths of what white bro misogyny culture has to offer, and good on you. Dave Portnoy is the founder and CEO of Barstool, an astonishingly classless haven for incels, men who hate women and women who hate themselves. What do I mean by a haven for men who hate women, women who hate themselves, incels, and misogynists? I mean, in 2007, Barstool featured early columns like Smoke Show of the Day, in which employees scoured Facebook for photos of attractive local women and Guess That Ass, which invited readers to guess which female celebrity was pictured in each meticulously cropped image. A 2013 profile in Entrepreneur magazine described Barstool's original offices as the unholy union of a fraternity house and a crime scene, bare advertisements featuring half-naked women adorn the walls, towers of junk wobble in every corner, and the carpet is soiled with a panoply of dark dribbles and stains. The environment reflected their company's irreverent attitude. Portnoy didn't just court controversy, he relished in it. The online community of stoolies, Barstools fans, have waged harassment campaigns against detractors. These have included death threats, doxing, online harassment, and targeting of people's families, friends, and workplaces. That man quote tweeted a video of Angel Reese doing the "you can't see me" and said she is a classless piece of shit. After being pointed out as the bigot and hypocrite that he is and being rightly dragged for filth for being silent when Caitlin Clark did the exact same thing, unlike his co-defendant in misogynoir Keith Olbermann, who had decided to still miss the point and instead argue that both ladies were wrong when neither were, Portnoy instead doubled down on his comments and leaned into good old-fashioned right-wing gaslighting.
I fundamentally deny, and I think you're basically lying if you're saying what Caitlin Clark did and Angel Reese did are the same thing. They're not. I like trash talking. If you hit a big shot in the moment, or you're talking in the moment, back and forth, and you do this or whatever, you talk, I don't care. That is not what Angel Reese did. Angel Reese, they were up 15 points. We have a side by side. She followed her after the game was over, doing this to her, doing this. Find me one example in any sport of anybody after somebody wins a championship, confetti coming down, not in a close game, and find me a player stalking the best player on the other team. It does not exist. It does not happen. If a man did that, he would be called classless and nobody would be saying anything.
Portnoy is doing the exact kind of nimble gymnastics and goalpost shifting that bigots like himself always do when they're caught. He knows that he's criticizing a black woman for doing the exact same thing he was silent about a white woman doing. So instead of owning that, instead of walking it back, he decides to try to convince us there's some nuanced difference between both women's actions, which there's not, by recharacterizing Angel as stalking Caitlin around the court.
You are a bitch ass nigga.
And he knows he's a bitch ass nigga too. You know how he knows it? That's why he tries to say, oh, I love trash talking. I love it, I swear. Just not when this evil, menacing, stalking black bitch does it. He tries to convince us it's not trash talking, but instead some never before seen beyond the pale occurrence.
That's a bitch move.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark herself says it's trash talking that they all do and will continue to do, and that Angel Reese should not be being criticized for it.
Yeah, I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. No matter which way it goes, she should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes and she competed. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament. It's not just me and Angel. So, I don't think she should be criticized, like I said.
Portnoy really tries to make the argument that if a man did it, we wouldn't say anything when people called it classless. First of all, if a man did it, we wouldn't say anything at all. Run the tape. Furthermore, he's not just policing women here, he's specifically policing black women. Because if a white woman did it, we also wouldn't say anything at all. Just like neither he or white America said a damn thing when Caitlin Clark did it. And it's important to note that neither Caitlin Clark or Iowa have asked to be coddled, defended, or protected. This is just what white America defaults to when they perceive even the potential of hurt white woman feelings, which is precisely why First Lady Jill Biden fixed her mouth to say she wants both teams to come to the White House together. Only the winning team goes to the White House. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. But let a team of black women beat a team of white women fair and square, and suddenly the First Lady of the United States of America takes it upon herself to suggest the team, the losing team, take part in the reward of the winning team because she could just not bear the thought of these white girls missing out.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Mind you, Caitlin Clark herself objected to this coddling she never asked for, just like she's objected to people criticizing Angel. She said,
I don't know. I don't think runner-ups usually go to the White House. I think LSU should, enjoy that moment for them. And congratulations, obviously, they deserve to go there. Maybe I could go to the White House on different terms, though.
but it doesn't matter what she says or wants. Just like it never mattered to the people attacking Angela Bassett pretending to defend Jamie Lee Curtis's honor, that Curtis never once expressed any issue with Bassett's response. Because again, this is just society's default reaction to protecting white women who they perceive both as valuable and delicate. And in this case of women's sports, it's especially harmful to all women who are not being afforded the respect to aggressively compete and trash talk freely as men are allowed to, and instead of having a normal game interaction, they're being treated as pawns in a cultural war that only exists in the minds of bigots like Dave Portnoy. Which brings me back to the true subject of this video, pulling Dave Portnoy's file, because when I saw this, all people call Angel Reese classless, the first thing I thought was,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
I said to myself on Twitter that I just know there ain't no way this Bob's Burger looking ass nigga who's facing multiple serious violent sexual assault allegations from multiple women could be calling anybody classless. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But yes way. Because white men's audacity knows no bounds. Apart from running the cesspool that is Barstool, this been accused of violent sexual assault multiple times. He's facing several allegations, and when the very damning allegations that I sure am going to read to you in a moment first dropped, he jumped out the window talking about, oh, he's gonna sue Insider for releasing this story, and then he had to drop that suit. The story first dropped on November 4th, 2021 by Julia Black. It says, the headline quote is, I was literally screaming in pain. Young women say they met Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy for sex, and it turned violent and humiliating. In the summer of 2020, Madison sent Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy a direct message on Instagram complimenting his famous One Bite pizza reviews. Sick pizza reviews, she wrote, thanks fly, bitch. Portnoy responded, she was a 20-year-old college student at the time. Portnoy, a 43-year-old multi-millionaire. 43-year-old multi-millionaire beginning conversations with 20-year-old women talking about fly, bitch. I know you lying. Anyway, the conversation soon moved to Snapchat and text, where it quickly turned to the topic of sex. He sent her graphic videos of other women he'd slept with. According to Madison, and in messages reviewed by Insider, he pressed her to tell him about her sexual fantasies. I mean, actually, this one's kind of common, she wrote, like fantasy where I don't have any control of what's going on. You and I are going to get along so well, he responded. This is a sick Negro. But I will say, in order to do that one, I have to be pretty comfortable with you, Madison said. Of course, Portnoy said, and he bought her a first-class plane ticket to visit him at his $2.2 million Nantucket home. The trip was a traumatic experience, Madison told Insider. She arrived at Portnoy's 4-bedroom home at about 3 p.m., tired enough from her travels that she didn't mind when Portnoy told her that they would order in pizza instead of going out. Still, she was surprised to find him nothing like his charismatic online persona. Girl, he's a dick online. Anyway, she said, he was very rude. He wasn't funny at all. He just reminded me of a boring, grumpy old man, Madison said. They started kissing. Madison said she first became uncomfortable when Portnoy pulled out his phone and started filming her without asking her permission as she performed oral sex on him. I never said anything. I was scared. He was just so mean, she said. And here's a screenshot of the text messages where she texted her friend after. And she said, we had sex one time. Somebody said, was it good? She said, it was so rough. I felt like I was... He videotaped me and spit in my mouth and choked me so hard I couldn't breathe. And it hurt and I was literally screaming in pain. From there, things escalated until, as Madison put it, I felt like I was just a human sex doll. 2 days later, Madison texted a close friend. It was so rough, I felt like I was... What I just read to y'all. She recalled crying and shouting, too much, and it hurts. It was so painful, Madison said. I kept trying to get away and he was like, stop running away from me, stop running away from me. But Portnoy, she said, just went harder. Madison's flight home wasn't until 2 days later, so she slept on Portnoy's couch both nights. They did not have sex again. Dave Portnoy makes no secret of the fact that he likes to have sex with young women and to push the boundaries of what is considered socially acceptable. In many ways, that image is the core brand that has made him one of the wealthiest and most powerful figures in digital media. So then, after those allegations dropped in November 2021, A few months later, 3 more women come out and accuse him of violent sexual assault. He files a lawsuit against Insider, and then 14 months later, he's forced to drop that lawsuit against Insider. Do you find it hard to believe that Portnoy could have done these things? I mean, I don't know. He's the man who said this.
Did the following on your site. I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No, I obviously don't.
I bring this all up because the audacity of this man, the audacity of white men, the audacity of a society that allows a man with these kinds of allegations about him in the public domain to comfortably levy the allegations of classless against a young woman for what she does in a basketball game. Anyway, child, in conclusion, Dave Portnoy is possibly a sexual predator, but he's definitely a bigot and the conch shell of the week. Hi, this is my son Raheem. He's a Maine Coon, aka a big ass cat. Did you know the average Maine Coon is around 20 pounds and long and big as hell like this? And very sweet and very docile. Get you one. Get you one.